the most valuable treasure is hidden on the east route. In this hall, you are gonna to see the cruel craftsmanship. So what's the item? What's the cruel craftsmanship? Let's go. Hello everyone, I'm Miao. Welcome to my video. This is my third episode about the Forbidden City. I know, it's been 7 months since my last episode. Because the summer and the autumn are the peak tourist season, travel season in Beijing. And this year is the 100th anniversary of the Forbidden City. So there are many special exhibitions. Crowds are overwhelming, so making it so difficult to film. But now it's December, it's low season relatively in Beijing. So finally, we can continue our Forbidden City journey. In my first episode, I introduced the history of the Forbidden City, tips, how to get there, and the Central Axis route. In my second episode, we visited the furniture hall and the west route of the Forbidden City. If you know nothing about this place, check out my previous video, because in this video, I won't repeat any information I've already covered. So today, we will explore the east route of the Forbidden City. First, what exactly is the east route itinerary? Second, the most valuable treasure is hidden on the east route. What is it? And you need a separate ticket to see them. Do you want to see them, these treasures? Third, I already told that the food in the Forbidden City is bad. But if you are hungry while exploring, there is one snack I highly recommend. So what is it? Fourth, there is an unfinished building inside the Forbidden City. Can you believe it? Hard to imagine, right? So let's take a look at the end of my video. Now I've already entered the Forbidden City, the Meridian Gate, the south gate of the Forbidden City, also the only entrance. See this one? This is the Spring Harmony Gate. So let's go. Let's pass by the 3 palaces in the outer court. Now we've already passed by the 3 palaces in the outer court. Now we are in the middle square. And then don't go straight. If we go straight past by that gate, that's the inner court. But we are not going to the inner court. At this point, turn right. Here, follow me. You know, I've already said the restaurants in the Forbidden City are overpriced and aren't good. But there's one snack I really recommend. I think they have the best hot dog in the world. Okay, maybe a little exaggeration, but you know, this hot dog that if you are hungry, I highly recommend you to try. Here, there is a takeout window, so you don't need to wait in line. 28 yuan for 2. See? I think it's very delicious. Maybe because the bread feels like the croissant, not the bun, and very juicy inside. So yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, after finishing the hot dog, let's get back on track. See, what's this place? It's Clock Hall. Yeah, I know we have many crafts are world famous, but I think clock making isn't one of them. They are better represented by France, Switzerland, or UK. But in this hall, you will find clocks gifted to the Qing emperors, as well as the clocks made by Qing court itself. So it's not a very large space, a very small hall. So let's go and have a look. And you have to buy the ticket on spot, 10 yuan. But even in the peak season, it's rarely sold out. So yeah, it's okay. You can buy the ticket on spot. Let's go. Use your passport as the ticket. The gallery of the clocks, of the timepieces. We are in now. Oh, very warm. Look, this gilded copper writing automation clock was made in the late 18th century by the famous London workshop. The lower section is the clock's main stage. After activating the mechanism, this European gentleman lifts his right arm, dips a brush into the ink from the inkstone on the table corner, and begins to write. And you know what? He writes Chinese characters. These Chinese characters means all directions submit, the world pays tribute. Is a classic phrase praising the emperor's virtue and also reflects how British clockmakers localized their designs to appeal to the Chinese court. Oh, let's continue. Oh, this one. See? Look at the design. I think it's made by the Qing court. It's very traditional Chinese traditional design, right? This one represents the peak of Qing Dynasty palace clock making. It's called birthday celebration clock. At 3, 9, 6, and 12 o'clock, the three figures emerge to announce the time. In the performances below, a celestial immortal rises slowly on a cloud from the left. On the right is the god of longevity from Chinese folklore, receiving treasures from the 8 immortals one by one. The design is truly ingenious. Okay, as I said, it's a very small exhibition hall. So let's get out. Do you think that's all the treasure I mentioned? Oh, not even close. Next spot is the highlight of our journey today. So let's go. Not very far. This is the clock hall, and that's the takeout window for the hot dog, and this one. You know what's this? That's the treasure hall. You know why the Forbidden City is called Palace Museum? Because it houses 1.8 million artifacts in the museum. And a few of them are displayed on this hall, the treasure hall. Of course, you can buy the ticket on spot, also 10 yuan. Yeah, that's the ticket window. See, also on the machine. Let's go. This whole place was supposed to be built for Emperor Qianlong when he wanted to retire. But he never lived here a single day. He built this place in 1776. He abdicated his throne after 60 years ruling this country. He admired the most, the people he admired the most was his grandfather, who ruled in this country for 61 years. So he would never dare to compare himself to his grandfather. He said, I would abdicate the throne after 60 years ruling. Then in the record, in the historical record, his grandfather would be the longest reign emperor. But you know what? The Emperor Qianlong only abdicated the title, the emperor's title. He never passed the power to his son. So his ministers and officials also followed his order, not his son's order. So he never retired and he never lived a single day in this area. And look at this. That's the Nine Dragon screen, Nine Dragon wall. This Nine Dragon wall was made of 270 glazed tiles. You can see the material is glazed tiles, but in fact it's only 269. One piece is not made of glazed tiles. Can you tell which one? Now take a closer look of this wall and find out which one is not made of the glazed tiles. One out of the 270 pieces. You found it? Here it is. The belly of the white dragon. See? Can you see it? It's made of wood, not glazed tile. It's wood, not ceramic. Just before the Emperor Qianlong checked the quality of this wall, this piece of tile fell and broke, and the artisans was so terrified. And then they came up with an idea that they used a wood to replace the original one, and they coated the colors on this wood and make it looks like the glazed tile. And guess what? The Emperor Qianlong never found out, never noticed. He even gave the reward to the artisans. So everyone was happy, and the artisans come back to home, and no one come back here again and to replace this piece. So yeah, it's made of wood. That's the story behind this wood, this piece of wood. But no one knows the real reason. Yeah, it's just a story. And you know what? It wasn't until very recent, in 1980s, this piece of brick start wearing out, and to have the original color of this wood, and the people noticed, oh, it's a wood. Okay, let's go to the treasure hall here. First, let's see the palace in the middle. This is where the emperor handled daily government affairs. Its specifications are similar to the most important hall in the Forbidden City, the Hall of Supreme Harmony, but just, much smaller. In the Hall of Supreme Harmony, we cannot have a closer look, but in this place, we can have a clear see the interior layout. On the right side is a water clock, which used the flow of water to measure time in ancient China. See, on the left side is a Western-style clock. It's huge, right? The palace. Many people felt confused about this treasure hall. Where is the treasure hall? Yeah, this is the palace in the middle. And on the left side, there are two treasure halls. On the right side, also two treasure halls. And behind this palace, there's one. So totally 5 treasure halls. So let's go to this side first. Noticed there's all the one-way visit. The entrance and the exit are different gate. So first we go to the jewelry hall, and this is the entrance, and the exit is here. And later we will go to another hall here. That's also the entrance. Yeah. So yeah, noticed here the jewelry hall first. In this hall, you are gonna to see the cruel craftsmanship. So what's the item? What's the cruel craftsmanship? Let's go. Many beautiful artifacts. That's the, finally, we got him the picture. That's the Emperor Qianlong, yeah, the most famous emperor. And that's his empress. All of these jewelries are real, actually used by the emperors and empress from Qing dynasty. We are about to see the cruel craftsmanship, cruel items I mentioned. This one. You see this? That's the cruel craftsmanship. This is the phoenix crown. Isn't it stunning? Yeah, the phoenix crown is the Ming Dynasty artifact in the entire treasure gallery. Everything else is from Qing Dynasty. It was excavated from the Ming tombs and belongs to a Ming empress. See this blue color? See this one? It isn't paint. It's made from the feathers of kingfisher birds. And one kingfisher bird only have 28 blue feathers. So a phoenix crown required feathers from thousands of birds. This is documented in historical records, not exaggeration. After the feathers were plucked, the birds died. So that's why it's called the cruel craftsmanship. You know why they have to use the kingfisher feathers? Because the color remains vibrant for thousands of years. Now you can figure out why I sometimes don't want to visit this area. Because so many people in the treasure hall. You cannot even see clearly about these artifacts. Now it's a low season. You can see, wow, very crowded. But you just imagine if it's the peak season. Yeah, all of people in the hall, in a very small hall, very crowded. Yeah, you cannot see anything. See, we exit from the jewelry hall, and then this one, gold and silver hall. Still a lot of people. This is a celestial globe, not a globe for the Earth, but for the universe, decorated with 3,240 pearls, represent the stars in the sky, observed by our naked eyes back in the days. And they connected together to represent the constellations in the sky. Amazing, right? And see 9 dragons together with a compass stays in the middle of the base. Actually, it's a clock. You can chime the time back in the time. The emperors and empress believe in the Tibetan Buddhism, so the Buddhism plays a very important role in the Forbidden City. Those are the shrine, for housing those Buddhas inside. Yeah. This one, 60 Ruyi, means may all your wishes come true, composed by 60 of them to celebrate Emperor Qianlong's 60th birthday. 60 is a very important age in human's life because it means you finished the whole cycle of 甲子. 甲子 is a method that for counting the years. Yeah, let's go. Here, confused, right? Right side or left side? Right side. Here. You exit from this gold and silver hall and then turn, if you go here, turn left side. In the middle, there is another hall, a gallery here. And in this hall, the items may not look as dazzling, yeah, but it's very important. It's called the national treasure of the national treasure. The number one ancient artifacts in our Chinese history. So what's this? The stones, the totally 10 stones here. Take a closer look. There are some characters. You cannot read these characters, right? Neither do I. Because that's the characters before our Chinese word unified. Yeah, that's the characters in Warring period. So we cannot read it. The Chinese people now, we cannot understand it. These stones are over 2,800 years ago. They are the earliest known Chinese inscriptions carved into stone, the living fossils of Chinese writing. There are 10 stone drums in total, and the inscriptions describe a king's hunting scenes of that era. Let's go. Now noticed, we are already visit the left side, the hall on the left side, and in the middle, and the right side, yeah, left. So we turn right here. Now we have to go back to the beginning. Many people missed these two halls on the right side because the entrance is at the beginning. So we have to go back. See, this is the middle palace, middle palace, and here, that's the entrance of the hall. This hall is the jeweled minionscape. The minionscape made of jewelry. It's very beautiful. See, magnolia, very lifelike. See this one? It's made of coral. Take a closer look. It's coral. Exit from this hall and go straight. That's the next one. The decorative arts. Now we finished the whole treasure hall, 5 halls in total. And now you have 2 options. One, you can go back to the entrance of the treasure hall, the ticket box, the ticket server's window, and then go back to the central access to the inner court. Or you can continue forward, and there's an emperor's bedroom and a very famous well, on the behind. So this time, let's move forward. Here. The next spot, the Emperor Qianlong's bedroom, though he never spent a single night here. Look, all of this palace were made of purple sandalwood. It's a very precious wood. All of the furniture, if you went to the furniture hall, all of the furniture made of purple sandalwood. Even the ceiling. You may wonder, bedroom, where is the bed? That's the door. Yes, yes. In the middle, always the door. And here, behind the curtains, that's the bed. Wow, this one, the biggest jade carving in the in the Forbidden City. See, that's the jade from Xinjiang province. It's called Hetian jade. It's the most famous jade in China. And of course, the most precious one. It takes 6 years to finish the carving. Wow. Next, we are going to see the most famous well in the Forbidden City. Why a well is so famous? Because one concubine was thrown into this well and drowned. This one, the famous well. A concubine was thrown into this well and drowned to death. That's the order from Cixi, Empress Dowager Cixi, the dragon lady. In 1900, 8 Nations Alliance invaded Beijing. Cixi decided to flee to Xi'an, abandoned her people. This concubine opposed her and said it boldly. Cixi was so angry about her and executed and ordered the eunuch to throw this concubine into this well. But do you think this opening of this well looks too small for someone to be thrown in? Yes, the stone on the top is called a well lock. It's meant to prevent people from falling in. If you remove the stone on the top, the well opening is actually a normal size. Now, when you see the well, it means you finished all the area, the whole area. Now we've reached the far end. Yeah, that's the northern side of the Forbidden City, the whole Forbidden City. From here, if you go straight, you will reach the north gate of the Forbidden City, the exit of the Forbidden City. And now we've already completed the outer court and the east route of the Forbidden City. But we didn't go to the inner court with this route. So if you feel a little tired, you can go straight and then turn left. Not exit, turn left, and to finish your inner court tour from the back to the front, and then exit from the east gate of the Forbidden City, where is very convenient for the food and the taxi. But if you still have the energy, follow me. We will walk along this path and walking a round trip. And then first, let's visit the unfinished building inside the Forbidden City, the only unfinished building. Yeah. What is it? Are you curious? Yes, stay tuned. This path is also a very famous path of a good place to take photos with the walls. It looks beautiful, right? Yeah, this path. But imagine in ancient times, a lonely eunuch and maids walking this area with the walls towering over them on both sides. How impressive. Here, the first gate you saw, this one. Turn right here. Here we are the Forbidden City's famous unfinished structure here. But to be clear, I think this spot is optional. Whether you visit depends on your energy and your time. But look, this building was supposed to be the first aquarium established in this country in 1908 by German company. The bottom level should be paved with one layer of glass to allow people see through the glass to appreciate those beautiful fishes swimming underneath. The second floor of this middle floor is supposed to be a Western-style restaurant with several sleeping chambers. But the dynasty was over in 1912, and they didn't have enough money to finish the whole project. And now they still keep it how it looked like back 100 years ago. Exit. And then turn right. Don't go back. Turn right. Here and turn left. Let's go back to the inner court. See? Now we come back to the inner court. Here, if you enter from this gate, you can continue your visit to the inner court all the way down and to the north gate of the Forbidden City, the exit from that gate. The Forbidden City closes very early in winter, so make sure you plan your time well. Enter to the Forbidden City stops at 3:30. Enter to the Treasure Hall and the Clock Hall stops at 3:40. The reminder music starts playing at 4 o'clock. The entire site closes and clears up at 4:30. Okay, that's all for today's video. I hope my video will help you when you visit the Forbidden City. I will probably make another episode about the Forbidden City. After all, we still haven't visited the Imperial Garden, though it's a very small garden. Thank you for watching. If you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel. See you next time. Bye bye.